in 1979, you was in Doctor Who.
Yes, I was.
Now, I've been trying all over to find out who you actually played in it. And, do you know, for the life of me, I cannot find a video.
I can tell you exactly what it is. If anybody who's a Doctor Who fan will tell me more than I even know. It was one of the series in which Tom Baker was the Doctor.
Yes.
And Lal Ford was his assistant. And it was called Destiny of the Daleks. I did 4 episodes. And I played Commander Shirel.
Yes, I did see he said Commander Shirel, but I couldn't find no pictures or anything when I was trying to look.
Listen, ask any of your fans or anybody who listens to your show, ask them to send you some pictures. They'll send it to you, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Right, now, my other question on Doctor Who. Now, everyone that does the acting, how can I say, they normally get memorable thing from the set. Half of the time they steal it. Did you steal anything?
No, I didn't actually. Oh, no, yes. No, I did. I don't think I stole it. I think they gave it to me. And to my chagrin, I mean, it's really horrible. It was my wig. And the wig was a sort of long, plaited, like, silver wig, which went from obviously on the head to the shoulder. My team had all of those things to wear. And I did get one. And a friend of mine was going to a fancy dress ball or party, and he borrowed it from me. And then I think he got so drunk that he gave it to somebody else.
So he stole it. You had it given you. He stole it.
No, he didn't. He didn't steal it because I knew him well, and he didn't steal it. And I just think he just gave it to somebody else because it was like that in those days. You didn't keep anything.
Yeah.
Or if you did, you didn't even know what you were keeping. You know.
It was just something from it, and you just thought, okay, whatever.
Yes. I remember actually, to be honest, they were very heavy as well. The wig was almost like in dreadlocks, but it wasn't. But it's all down in silver, in plaits and things. It's when you see a picture, you'll see what I mean.
Yes, yeah. I have found something that says what you was. It just didn't show a picture when I was trying to research.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now, you've done a lot of TV shows. Would you like to speak about any of them? And which was your favourite?
Yes, well, I did some, apart from television, just very quickly, the first thing I ever did was I decided I wanted to be an actor when I was young. My mother was a leader singer, Jamaican leader singer, and studying in England. The children came here, so I came here in the late 50s. And then I went into, to quickly to cut the thing, I went into a show called Hair, which was in the West. And that started in 1968. Since then, I then went on after that to do a film with Joan Greenwood and Michael Hordern, which Ned Sherrin produced, called Girl Stroke Boy in the 70s. Then I started recording. I did one album with Howard and Blakely. Then I came up and did another set of albums all through from about 1977 to 1983 albums under the auspices of EMI, which with Freddie Mercury producing the first one with Roy Thomas Baker. Then I did Doctor Who. And then after that, I went on to do a couple of films. I did a series with Pam Ferris and Stephanie Beacham called Connie, about the fashion.
Yes, I've seen about that. I've actually watched one or two of it.
There you go.
You know.
So, I mean, that's just a quick potted version. And then I did a couple of things. I did a film called De Silva for Channel 4. Horace Ove did a series called The Orchid House, which was set in the West Indies. And actually, we went and filmed down in oh God, which one? I must get this right. It's I can't remember where it was now. Yeah, but right down in the south. And I can't remember. It's gone out of my head. I can see it. But anyway, so we did that, and I did lots of other things in between, and I can't remember half of them.
So they was the more memorable.
I'm the greatest person for you to interview, as you can tell.
I've got a question on that in a bit. I'll ask that in a bit, though. About interviews that you've had and this, that, and the other. I'll ask that in a bit. Now, yes, you are very good friends with quite a lot of the stars.
Well, yes, I was lucky enough to grow up at that time when Years ago, when I made my first album, I signed with RCA Records, and at the same time as David Bowie signed with them, and we were sort of quite mates on and off, and we didn't see each other, and we saw each other, and of course he got the big budget from RCA, and I didn't.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it goes. Listen, it's the way it goes.
Life is life.
Life is life, and at the moment I'm still alive. Who knows what will happen soon? But
Yeah.
because you can't tell anything about life. So I just keep going on and living, get on. And then I mentioned I did 3 albums in the 70s.
Yeah.
The first one was called This One's on Me, which was produced by Freddie Mercury and Roy Thomas Baker, and I did that one, and did another one called Changeling, and I did the last one called Real Natural Man. And
Yeah.
so that's what I did. I did a couple of others since then, stopped, and then I did a lot of theatre and telly work, really. I went to National Theatre and did Measure for Measure with Michael Rudman directing it. And so it's a very checkered existence, because I wanted to do everything and anything that they gave me to do that I liked.
So you've lived a life that has been plentiful and full.
I've tried.
Right now, yes, going on to the theatres.
Yeah.
I know this sounds very rude. I know you're getting on in age a bit.
Well, I'm over 70, put it that way.
Yes, I know. You're 5 years older than my mum. You celebrate... my mum's birthday's 5 days after yours.
She's a Scorpio.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, you're like 5 years and 5 days older than my mother.
Well, there you go. There you see. But
I sussed all that one out earlier. No, I'm just thinking the theatres, they are now sort of getting a budget. After this lockdown and that, I'm going to ask you a bit more over the lockdown in a minute, but they're going to be sort of like getting some government grant and hopefully restarting again. Are you going to be going back on to theatre in any chance?
Well, it's very difficult to know what the there's a lot of money has been put there or set on the table. There's going to be a detail as to how that money is spent, on whom, because theatres, apart from just the theatres, just the buildings.
Yeah, yes.
The people who have to maintain them and so all that. So I don't know how this money is going to be spent. I don't know how much is going to go towards helping commercial theatre. And there's so many other theatres, as you know, around the country that aren't commercial, but are so, it's imperative that they exist for their local communities and for people to go to and just to enjoy a night out or a day out. And of course, a lot of the theatres do a lot of artistic stuff with schools and practical stuff with schools, actually, as a day out, as a sort of practical thing for people to get out and see how things work in different communities. It's like going anywhere. So it's, in essence, it's a very good idea. But how they're going to make it work, I have no idea. So it's really watch this space. And as you said, it's just come today. So and today.
It's only came today. But I was just thinking, would you go back onto a stage, theatre stage?
Oh,
considering you've done
I would.
quite a lot.
I would. I'd love to if I can remember anything. No. Because in fact, it's so funny you should say that, because I was doing a show called La Cage aux Folles, which is the original English translation, which has only just been done for the first time, of the play, the French play. And we were in the middle of doing it at Park Theatre in Finsbury Park, and Simon Callar had done the translation and everything, and we were doing very well. And we had to stop. We had to stop halfway through being on the stage, and I don't know, but to mount any show now, to redo some of these shows, it just costs so much money just to redo it. You've got to find the original cast. There were 11 people in the cast and all the backup stage staff. It's also very hard for the people who work, as you know, backstage and who are just, self-employed. I've got to be careful what I say. It's difficult.
Yes. Now, with the lockdown, as we know, it's just starting to ease. But, when it started and that, it was hard on everyone. How did it affect you?
Oh, it's still been difficult. It's affected me in a lot of ways, because I've just re-released this year, the box set of some of those, the albums I was talking about, and a box set came out at the beginning. I think in March. Yes, March, and it was re-released on Cherry Red record. And Cherry Red Rock Records, yeah. And we were doing well and everything, and and I was going to do some shows to promote it. I was hoping to do Glastonbury, and I was definitely going to do the Edinburgh Festival.
Yeah.
The new show, and I was going up there for 3 weeks of the 4 weeks. But then in February alone, my producer, he called me, and he was in America, and he said, "We're not going to do this now." I said, "Why? I said, "August is a long way away." He said, "No, it's a pandemic, and nobody knows." Well, nobody knows what the things, and of course, as you can imagine, any of these festivals, the Edinburgh Festival, as you know, there are millions of people that go up in Edinburgh for this 4-week period.
Yes.
I've done it before, and people are just packed into the smallest places to the biggest places. They just jam.
Yeah, they're like climbing over each other.
Yes, and sneezing all over each other and coughing. To be honest, it's been a great disappointment because I was really looking forward to doing that, and I was going to use a band and things. I was going to use some of my musicians to go up, and then we were going to do a small tour. Gone. Nobody is interesting. Everybody's talking about things. Let's do it next year. Next year. Listen, I don't even know what next year is going to be.
Yeah, nobody knows at the moment on how it's going to go, do they?
Yeah, we're going to have a problem because nobody's earned any money. So all the venues, I know what they're going to say. I spoke to my agent about this and said everybody's going to say, "Well, you see, nobody's been working for 6 months and everything's down, so we're going to have to pay you less unless you happen to be a Hollywood star." But everybody's going to have to take a cut.
Yeah, yeah.
To be honest, I'm guessing. I think it's going to be quite difficult and trying. But we have to just exist and we have to just keep going. I have no intention of giving up because this is the only thing I've ever done and the only thing I really enjoy.
Yeah, it's a part of you. It is your life.
It's my life. We moan like everybody. We all moan at everything. We have a joy. But then I think that's part of life anyway. So please, so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't see myself working this year. If I do, it'll be just a couple of gigs. I was going to work. I was asked to do a charity thing on last Saturday, locally in Hampstead, and but the council won't allow you to sing or anything at the moment because, of course, it's spreading. You can't.
It's all passing.
And sing because I've just done streaming thing on my YouTube, Peter Straker YouTube, which I'll tell everybody about. I sang The White Cliffs of Dover.
I've actually got that. I'm going to play that in a bit. I am going to play that in a bit.
And it's very important. It's for the Chelsea pensioners funding thing, and it goes straight to the Chelsea pensioners. So even if I will say this, even if they put £1 each, I know everybody's helping everything, but it's just because I grew up in London. And I knew I was around there, and it's something I've always wanted to do, and I was lucky enough to do it. And it's going slowly, but it's there. So that if anybody plays it and likes it, we've done 2 versions, one in my flat, and the other we went down to. I went down with Dylan, my sound guy. We went down to Dover. And we did it on the beach. It was very cold and windy, but we did a live performance to the backing track.
Yes, I've got the picture of that, where you're on the beach at the White Cliffs of Dover. I have got that, which will be put on our webpage. And
thank you.
Whilst we're talking about it now, would you just like to introduce a song and tell people where to donate? And I'm going to play it now.
Yes, okay. V-Day was coming. And I remember doing this. V-Day was on the Friday, and I spoke to Michael Addison, who's my producer, and I spoke to him on a Sunday. I said, "Look, I've just got this idea. Can we not do this for this?" And he said, "Well, yes." So I sang over the phone, told him what key we wanted, and he did it, and he did the track. And it was ready by the Thursday night, and we put it out. But of course, we didn't. We hadn't had any television sort of promotion on it. So, and of course, you have to think of these things in advance. However, I didn't. It is there. We've raised some money, and we're going to try and just keep plugging it to raise some more for the Chelsea pensioners. So, and it will do it. Every little helps. Okay, this is White Cliffs of Dover. This is sung live at Dover or in Dover on the beach down there, beautiful with the cliffs all around us and the sea. And the donation is to be made to the Chelsea pensioners, Royal London Hospital Chelsea pensioners. I don't know the exact details of the funding, but as you see, it will come down and you can see the name. And if you can do that for me, I'd be obliged.
I've got a couple of questions that I normally ask when I do interviews.
Go on.
They might seem a bit weird to you, but it also gives people a little bit of an insight to who you are and how you are, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
Right, so question number one, it's like a two-part, this one. If you had a shop, what would you sell in that shop?
Yes.
That is part one.
If I had a shop, what would I sing?
What would you sell in the shop?
Yes, I've never thought of that. Go on.
Yeah, that's a question that people don't think about. And question two of it, part two of it, is when you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing that makes you smile?
When I wake up in the morning, the first thing that makes me smile, in between looking through the slats in my I could say my drawers. That's not the right word to say. I have blinds. No, I have blinds, and I can see. And I literally, when I wake up in the morning, and I go, "Oh God, the sun is shining," and I'm so happy. And it's as simple as that. If it rains, I'm not unhappy, but it just becomes a dull day because I live in a small flat, which I adore. But if I can see the sun coming up, just in this pandemic, I think that's what's kept me really going, and probably a lot of people. We've been so lucky, certainly in London. We've been so lucky with the weather. I mean, if when we went into lockdown in May, not in May, in March rather, March, April, and May, had it been raining, and normally in April and things, it's April showers and had it been raining and dull, I think, well, I can't imagine what would have happened. So, but it hasn't happened, and the sun has been shining in London, and it's beautiful, and I love it. So that makes me feel very, very, very happy. And then after that, I go, and you're alive.
Yeah.
I'm always shocked when I wake
special.
up. And I go, you're alive. And I'm actually sometimes quite shocked because I go, God, you're alive. This is great. And so, yes, that I like life, and I'm trying to like life. The only thing, the worst thing about life, in my case, because I have no discipline, is my belly is getting bigger.
We're all in the same boat.
It's not much fun, I tell you.
I have to go sideways through the door at the moment.
It's not that bad, but I've got to stop eating, and eating so much because I love my food, and I've been learning to cook because I can't cook.
Oh, you're just learning. I've been cooking for years. You should come here and have a nice meal.
I will. I can't cook. I can cook a little bit. I've learned certain things. Well, years ago, I remembered which my mum taught me when I first, and I've sort of been revisiting those. But literally, they're two dishes. So it's one. I've tried them a couple of times.
You'd have had the nice African meals, wouldn't you? Like, is it?
No, Jamaican. I'm Jamaican, but we have rice and peas.
Yeah, rice and peas with the dumplings. With the dumplings.
Yeah, and with most of us, I mean, I like chicken, so it's simple. But I mean, I like beef and everything, really. But cooking is not. It's not the easiest thing in my world. Put it that way. Is that a nice way of putting it? I find it quite. I normally go out and eat, and since lockdown finished, I went to one of my favorite restaurants locally, off near Baker Street, and I went there on Saturday with a friend, and then two other friends were passing in their car, and they said, "Oh, there he is," and they joined us. But we were on a huge round table on the pavement, and it was so delightful just to sit down and talk rubbish.
But I must say, I've been taking up so much of your time with so many silly questions. It has been great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And thank you very much.
Andy Jones, thank you. I've really, really enjoyed it. Thanks very much indeed. Listen,
Okay.
and as I say, stay safe. I know it's an overused word, but it's worth saying it every day and every time.
Yes.
Just think, we must all think about what we're going to do and just make sure we're all right. And that means we look after other people as well. And it's very important.
Yes. That is
We're all
the
amazing.
main point. I say that on every show I do.
Oh, good.
You don't need to go out. Don't bother. No point.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree.
Well, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure, really a pleasure. It's lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.